Hello and welcome to Reddit and Set It, where the audio quality isn't great, but hey, at least the video editing's decently good. On today's video, we're going to be going over a subreddit that's been gone over a lot on this channel, but hey, we got to keep going over it because I still have more for some reason. I don't know why the first time I did this, I pulled like 87 million files, so here we go. That subreddit would be AITA. On to our first post. My fiance, 27 female, and I, 27 male, are getting married next year. We've been having fun organizing things, and the wedding planning has been going well so far. My parents have started complaining that they don't see me enough and that I see my partner's family much more. They had a bunch of grievances related to this, of which I was very diplomatic and agreed to work on a better relationship with my parents and not lead them to feel excluded. I was optimistic that I was resolving this until they kept bringing up the main issue, that my partner has invited two of her aunties to the wedding, which means that there will be two more people from her family than mine in attendance. Both me and my partner have two parents, two siblings, and one family plus one to attend the wedding as part of the family. My parents blew up over this imbalance about inviting aunties and issued an ultimatum on invite the two aunties or they wouldn't attend the wedding. I calmly explained that my side of the family could invite two more people, example aunts and uncles, if they so wished. My parents got very angry and restated their demand. I feel that this is unfair to my fiance, so we shouldn't disinvite them just to even up the numbers, and rather importantly, I should say, from the get-go it was unlikely that these aunties can even attend. They live on the other side of the world. It's the principle that they should be invited if we wanted them there, and I was holding firm. Unfortunately, in my attempts to explain that the aunties should be able to come, even though they're most likely not going to be able to, has blown up in my face. They have decided to not attend the wedding, presumably because they expect it to be unbalanced. I have tried understanding this from their perspective, but I'm struggling. I think this might stem from the fact that their wedding did not involve family due to drama, and they're projecting their insecurities onto their children. Now, my parents are saying that my partner is selfish and manipulative. They have refused to speak to her in calls. My partner is selfish and manipulative. They have refused to speak to her in calls and only want to speak to me. She has done nothing wrong and is completely shut out of the situation, leaving me feeling stuck in the middle. My fiance says I should stand up to my parents' unreasonable demands, but they're still my family and I want them at our wedding. So I'm gonna say this right here, right now. OP, not the butthole, 0 out of 10. Fiance, 0 out of 10. Parent, 2 out of 10. My oh my, different editing styles. Again in this video. How many times are we gonna change them? Alright, on to our next post. I am a nurse practitioner, and I am the primary care provider for a lot of low-risk maternity cases at the practice where I work. I also work hand-in-hand with the doctors and midwives to create a healthy maternity, birth, and postpartum situation. My fiance is completing her residency. We live together and have for a few years now. We aren't in any hurry to get married. We originally had plans to do so a couple years ago, but then we got really busy for 2 years. It is driving my very religious parents crazy that their youngest son is living in sin. I don't really care. I am an adult and I do what I want. We are getting married in June. So we are visiting my parents for Christmas. The way it came together this year, everyone is at my parents' house. So that's my folks, 3 siblings, myself and my fiance, and 7 grandchildren, so 17 people. At dinner, my mom starts going on about how she is so glad we are finally getting married and she won't be embarrassed at church anymore. And my dad says how proud he is of his older 3 kids who all either waited to get married before moving in together or got married right away after moving in together. My fiance was getting embarrassed and I was getting mad over this stupid argument we had too many times. And at a family dinner was the last straw. I have asked them repeatedly to just control how I live my life. I refuse to stay with them, and when I visit, even if I come alone, hotels are just easier. So I started talking about a premature baby I had been reading about. It was almost 3 months premature and weighed 1.6 pounds. It was super strong and healthy for being born so little, and the NICU had high hopes for the baby doing well. My mom and dad both got deer in headlights look on their faces. Too bad, should not have effed around with my fiance's feelings. So I asked about my oldest brother. He was born almost 4 months premature. Is there a chance that we could check out the family album where we keep all records of family births and stuff? I know my brother was over 9 pounds and almost 23 inches long when he was born. My grandmother told me all about it the first time my parents tried to shame me. The subject changed very fast. After supper, my parents told me that I should not try and embarrass them with private things that are not my concern. I told them that if I heard anything about my living arrangement ever again for the rest of my life, I would make sure to keep bringing up the fact that my mom was in her 2nd trimester when they got married. My parents are mad at me for telling them how to behave in their own home, but my fiance is happy they seem to be off the subject for good. So we're gonna do our ratings here, and I'm going to say Ropey, 0 out of 10, fiance, 0 out of 10, the mother, 1.5 out of 10. Yeah. On to our next post. My boyfriend had to go to the ER after an accident, and he got a truly ridiculous bill back. I offered to fight the bill for him because I've done it before. He said sure. I went all out because honestly, if we were out $5,000 after insurance, that would mess up our holiday plans really bad. So I had him call the hospital and authorized me to handle his bill and access his medical record. I got an itemized bill and compared the prices for each code to their fair prices, called billing to dispute the bill, but was told that billing only collects bills. I'd need to contact that dispute. Got bounced around a call center for hours trying to get someone who was actually qualified for bill disputes and getting nowhere. I searched Google and LinkedIn for the hospital board of directors and upper management. I got the emails of 30 of the most influential people at the hospital, plus the hospital's investment. Each day I would send a few emails, working my way up the chain, writing an increasingly wrong email, how they billed my client at 7 times over the fair price for the services rendered, and how their billing department, customer service department, and the growing list of management I'd emailed to address the issue. I escalated the number of emails until I was writing the director level staff with the entire board of directors and a number of outside investors CC'd asking for a written statement regarding their justification for billing at a rate 7 times higher than the national average for commensurate services to what is available at other hospitals, and sternly laying out the failures to appropriately respond at every level of the company. Well, once I'd done all that, which honestly was like 15 minutes a day, reduced the bill from $5,000 to $26. Yes, $26. Well, I told my boyfriend the good news, and at first he was overjoyed and blown away, like literally jumping up and down and hugging me, saying I was literally a Christmas miracle. But then when he asked how I did it, I said it wasn't too hard, I just had to send a couple of emails each day. He was curious what I'd said, so I handed him my phone. He started to get stressed and flipping back through other emails, which there are like 60 of. He told me I went way too far, expecting me to dispute their billing department or something normal or reasonable like that, not internet stalk every single manager and board member and investor and harass them into dropping the bill. I was furious because I just saved us $5,000 and actually made it possible for us to afford a nice Christmas and save money. He was mad at me because I'd been a bit jerk. I was furious he was also mad at me, saying he authorized to dispute a bill, not basically threaten and harass a whole hospital for weeks. So for this story, I'm going to give OP a 0 out of 10, only on the facts of U.S. medical bills. I'm assuming it's the U.S. because $5,000 after insurance are just completely ridiculous, and more people need to fight like that, and maybe that might help. But to the boyfriend, we're going to go 0. Understandably, kind of harassed the hospital. So, yeah. Hello and welcome to the outro of this video. This is the 20 seconds that we dedicate, so then that way you don't have the cards at the end of your video. So yeah, hope you enjoy while I kill 10 more seconds here. 5 more seconds. No, 7 more seconds. Now 5. Yeah, so I don't know. Scram! To those of you who are not that submissive, cornflakes.